Game Bang.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Video Game Bang, powered by Energy Esports, sponsored by Oblivion Comics and Coffee. Come for the comics, stay for the coffee, and the new sponsor of Curtis's new Comics Corner. Tune in on Wednesday nights on the CW for that.
I was wondering if you were going to plug. I know it's been a long time since you've hosted. I honestly forgot that like 30 minutes we had established that you were going to host, so I almost jumped in.
I almost didn't.
I'm so glad you remembered.
I'm in the middle of my Instagram story post. I was like, oh, that's me. What's going on, everybody?
Well, you did a great job. You got right in there, and you remembered Curtis's Comic Corner.
Yeah, I
That's
did.
the man.
Yeah.
I also remember that we're sponsored by Mainframe USA.
Yes.
And Vast GG. Go check them out. They got lots of good giveaways going on. Vast GG everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, Discord. Come hang out in the Discord. It's gonna be cool. We're doing some good stuff in there.
Is it popping?
It's popping. It's gonna be more popping.
Is it as popping as the VGB Discord? Because that gets pretty lit.
It is like if the VGB Discord. I don't know. I was gonna go with that. Yeah, it's popping. There's gonna be some popcorn metaphor in there. I don't know. We got a great show lined up for you guys tonight. First, let me introduce the cast. We got the one and only Mr. Energy himself, Cory Vincent.
Hey, what is going on, pizzas? I'm so happy to be here on the guest seat. I've always wanted to be on the show.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for having me.
You know what? Anytime. I mean, it's your house. So
What do you guys think, crowd?
Hey!
We'll have them back
Thank you. I still control the soundboard, by the way, so that's listening.
Oh, that's abundantly clear. Curtis is in the house.
I am in the house as opposed to being outside the house, which would be a little more difficult technically to do the show outside the house.
We got long mic cords.
That one time we had chicken pox, we had to get creative.
That's right. That was measles, but we don't talk about that.
There's an anti-vax joke in there somewhere.
Oh, wow.
And
started strong.
topical.
Back after a long hiatus, Mr. Capital Fight District himself, Jay, is in the house. Welcome back, Jay.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Good to have you back.
Come hang out.
Hey, you got a crowd response.
Hey, good job, man.
How have you been, Jay?
Doing really well.
Yeah?
Super busy. A lot of stuff going on in the Sacramento area. So,
You used to doing stuff with Esports Arena, right?
yeah, I was running the Wednesday night fights there at the new Esports Arena Roseville location, which is inside a Walmart.
Let's start there. Can we
Let's start there
Yeah.
because we did an episode where I talked about that, and like the next day, Jay messaged me. He goes, "That place is really cool." I go, "No, I'm sure it is. It's just weird. It's at Walmart."
It is weird that's in Walmart. And you are constantly reminded every 5 minutes when someone walks by and they're just like, what's that?
What do you think the response is like? Okay, you have events there, but what's it just doing for the rest of the day?
For the rest of the day, mostly throughout the week, it's opened up just for gameplay. So they usually charge $5 an hour, and you can come and play any game that's installed on a computer, or there's also PS4 Pros and Xbox One X's.
Is that the play? Like, that's the play, right? That's what they're banking on. The events are great. That'll bring extra attention and things.
But they're banking on that.
I think the reason Walmart decided to do it, was to make that $5 that because their kid can't stop playing Fortnite, and the mom just wants to shop peacefully. And ship her kids over there.
That's one of the things. Another reason why they're doing that at a certain. Actually, they're doing it at a bunch of other locations. There is Esports Arena. They have their own computers that they're trying to sell called Overpowered. So whenever you go there, you see their their insignia for Overpowered on every single PC. That way, they're sold on the Walmart website, and on top of that, since HyperX is a big sponsor for the Esports Arena, there's HyperX keyboards and mice.
Oh, it's all product placement.
It's all product placement. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Can you, for like the tournaments you hold, can people bring their own peripherals?
Yes. Yeah. So we had a really fun Overwatch pickup game tournament last Saturday, and a lot of the higher end players, the Plats and the GMs, they brought their own peripherals.
Oh, okay.
I want to see like a tournament hosted there, and like they're in the middle of like this big like fight, and all of a sudden you hear Can I get a price check on 6-pack of top ramen? Lane 3, thank you.
It definitely is Walmart.
I can't believe it. You know, all this stuff you were describing, the heat of the competition and stuff, and then you're just always in a Walmart. It's so crazy. That's so genius. Is it working, do you think? Like, are there a lot of, like, just when you go there to shop and you look over, is there usually at least one person in there?
I think on the weekdays it might be a little slow, but I've only done things on the weekend and Wednesday night, and usually if you go on the weekend, it's a lot busier there. Okay. Also on Thursdays they do Smash tournaments, and there's at least 60 kids inside that little area.
Nice.
That's cool. I mean, I'm about it. That's a sign of the times right there. If you're going to talk about a sign of the times, having a fucking esports arena in a Walmart.
2019 for you, baby.
2019. I'm here
Still
for
don't have
it.
flying cars, but we got esports in Walmart.
It's not quite Blade Runner, but esports is in Walmart. Priorities, people. Priorities. Esports first. Flying cars, we'll figure it out later.
Oh, man. So we got some music buffs in here. So I had a big day yesterday. I got my own record player.
Oh,
congratulations!
Nice. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
You are a man of great taste.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I have 2 records.
Okay.
They were both my dad's,
okay.
and they're back when that records were what was used to listen to music.
So one of them's Fleetwood Mac.
No, it's Frampton Comes Alive.
There's I swear to God, I have a Frampton Comes Alive right there.
I guarantee you have a Frampton Comes Alive.
All you need is a Frank Zappa.
Carry on. I'll be right back, guys.
So it's the original Star Wars score.
Nice.
Which is
John
super
Williams?
cool. Yeah, John Williams. Yeah. And then I have The Hobbit, like the audio version of The Hobbit, like the book, and it came with like this picture thing where you follow along with the story, which I haven't broken that out yet. But the first thing I did was I popped on Star Wars, and I just I did a little Instagram story.
I got it.
There it is.
I knew it. Everybody that has a record player has Frampton Comes Alive.
This is a rite of passage.
All right, so I gotta go find one.
Yeah, you can't do it and then you gotta just only listen to Do You Feel Like We Do. It's the only track you care about on this thing. And make sure you know that he was actually talking through his guitar.
Because that matters.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
Sorry to
I'll have to. No. I'll have to. You said that there's a record store in Sacramento that does like 50%.
Oh, beautiful place. Yeah. Old Sacramento. There's a record place on Thursdays. It's like buy one get one free, or they do half off or something.
Is it like
crazy.
Downstairs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've been there.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I've been there.
So did you listen to both your records? What did you do? Did you sip a fine whiskey? Or did you just sit there and stare at it, just watch it go in circles?
I just kind of sat there and stared at it, watching it go in circles.
That's good. That's what you do for the first little bit.
Nice.
And then today I popped it on as I was doing some work and just listened to the first few songs of the Star Wars soundtrack.
That's awesome.
It's pretty epic to work to.
Yeah.
This intergalactic anthemic music.
May have been some of the best work I've done. That's why the Vast GG Discord is so popping right now.
I mean, once the Empire March is on,
yeah,
I
just start banning people.
When we were, when I fixed the Zune that I have, and I talked about it maybe a little bit on the podcast on
just a little bit.
These were my original files.
Yeah,
and it was something nostalgic about hearing my files from 8 years ago that still skipped in the same spot.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that same thing of like this stupid MP3 means something. So listening to the original Star Wars track of an original print over a record player through speakers, it's like history.
Yeah.
You get to hear it goes beyond just the content.
It's true.
Speaking of your Zune, I found the equivalent for me, which was I guess it'd be the most similar thing would be my iPod Video. When they first came out with that.
Oh,
That's it's basically like a hard drive with a screen on it.
Yeah.
And a click wheel. It's thick.
Was it the click wheel that actually rotated? No, because they didn't do that one. That one was already gone by then. This was the the
it's
static.
It did the
making that sound.
And it had did it have haptic?
No, it didn't have haptic, but the speaker it's like so enclosed that you would feel it.
Yeah, you would feel the speaker doing
through
it.
the enclosure.
Way ahead of its time.
Way ahead of its time. Yeah, haptic before. Yeah, someone did that. And I go, what if this was part of it and not just an accident of design?
10 years later.
Haptic feedback.
Yeah.
Hey, Steph is in here.
Hey, how's it going, Steph?
What's going on? So we are Saturdays. We're doing a different thing where we don't do news because we bring that to you on Wednesdays, but instead we do games, TED Talks, whatever it may be. Today's a combination. We're pioneering even further, and we're gonna go with a discussion on best consoles that we've had and worst consoles that we've had.
I like it.
And that we've actually owned, not necessarily in our opinion the best and the worst or whatever.
This is a tough one because no matter what you say, someone's gonna get offended because it was like their childhood thing. All consoles are beautiful. We can start by saying that there's no loser.
Nope.
Except for one.
I think I know which one that is. We had a discussion before the show. I won't say mine yet because I want somebody else to go first. But the way I'm approaching it, you guys can talk about how you approached it. I went from because I don't think I really had a bad console per se. Mm-hmm. I came at it from like, okay, which one did I have like the least amount of memories on, and which one did I have like the best amount of memories on?
That's a good.
Okay, yeah.
That's how I'm approaching it. So who wants to go first with their consoles?
What are we gonna? See, I gotta get used to who's like running the show here. Because Emma has a very strict. Everybody takes their turn.
That's right. I'm going first. Boom. Right. There we go.
Boom.
Stepping
Curtis.
up.
There it is.
And I'm leading off with the worst. So, and I think this is a pretty good one to start with. I am very curious about how many people actually had this console because it did not sell a lot, and it did not sell a lot for a reason. And what I think part of what made it the worst console I ever owned is because I was so excited for this. I had just gotten into Star Fox, and that was so fun. And also on this console, I felt that one missed mark that sucks about it too is that that sucks that it failed and it was so terrible is that it had a new controller type for this line of consoles that I hadn't seen before, and it was actually pretty comfortable. But lo and behold, the Virtual Boy was the worst console I had ever owned.
I never owned it, but I rented it from a Blockbuster.
Oh, no way.
I remember that. Yeah.
Right.
You get that briefcase.
You get the big briefcase,
Yep.
Open it up.
But I'm totally with you on that. That's probably one of the worst consoles I've ever played.
Easy.
It's backbreaking. Like the way the goggles and the stand was there, and you had to lean over.
Oh my god, that sounds awful.
Yeah, although it was great because it brought us WiiU, right? Because that's where WiiU came from.
I think that might have been. I don't know if it was the first one.
I think it was. I think I read that.
Or his first appearance.
Maybe his first appearance.
Yeah, we'll fact check that, but I think you're right. I know it was early on when Wario just came in, and it might have. It's either his first appearance or his first game, but. It was, I mean, same thing. I would lean over it. Like, not only that, if it was kind of warm in the room, like, you'd start sweating, and then that would get all over, like, the plastic part, and that felt gross. You had to wipe your forehead and go
so
back
it's like
in.
when we played Beat Saber. We had to get paper towels and stick them underneath the Virtual
over.
Boy. So Virtual Boy was the all red one, right?
It was the all red one, and that was the other thing. It was an eyesore. So you had to watch these red lines the entire time. So I don't know, like, they tell you take breaks like 30 minutes into gaming now. Like
couldn't last 5 minutes.
You couldn't.
No.
Like you play a little bit. I had the tennis game. I think that was the pack-in game that came with it. It was like Mario Tennis or whatever, or Mario Virtual Tennis.
And then there was like a big robot boxing one.
Yeah.
That you only press buttons for the fists. So it's kind of like ARMS. It was like the first version of ARMS.
Okay.
OG ARMS.
Yeah.
Dang. What if it was? What if when they came out with ARMS, they're like, hey, you guys remember that robot game on Virtual Boy?
No, because no one played. Well, anyway, let's make like no one remembers it, but that was easily probably my I mean, not probably. It was definitely my worst console. Now, at the time, when I was a kid, like at first, I was just stoked to have it because it looked so cool and it came on those legs and it was all futuristic. And I don't know, Terminator 2 came out not that long ago, so I was like, oh man, this is futuristic. Yeah. Like I felt, man, that thing just let me down so much. And then no games came out for it. I guess it was a nightmare to program for it. And then and it sold terribly. So. I'm starting us off strong, y'all. Virtual Boy. Who's following up? Who can top that?
So since we went through one of the worst, maybe let's go through one of the best.
Yeah, what's your best one?
Okay, so best console. This one's a dead giveaway. Nintendo Switch.
That's
Nintendo
good.
Switch.
That's a
So
good one.
far, it has not let me down.
No, like
Yeah.
it just has not disappointed me in any single way. The types of games, the amount of games, how easy it is to take around, how portable it is. I love the I like just literally sliding the Joy-Cons off and sliding them back on. It's so satisfying. Like it's awesome. And I don't know, and I like all the ports that they're bringing over for it. So even older games that you haven't played for a while, where it's like, oh damn, I gotta find my PlayStation 3 or I gotta do this. It's like, oh, you guys are bringing over
Final
Resident
Fantasy
Evil.
9?
Yeah, Final Fantasy 9,
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4. Like, bro, I have all the Street Fighter games that I care about. Mine is the first EX game. I have them all in one game. It's incredible.
What's also great about the console is that it came out swinging with Breath of the Wild.
Heck yeah!
Oh,
One
yeah,
of the
it
best
did.
games ever, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. It came out swinging hard. So, I'm loving the Switch. There's just nothing bad really. I mean, I know people complain about the battery life and whatnot. I mean, honestly, I don't know. Like,
I've never had a problem with the battery life.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's all right. And they make like you can use a phone battery thing that you already have.
Like a battery charger.
In chat, Steph is saying that they want to switch, but everything is sold separate, so they haven't been able to put in the effort. It is kind of an intimidating buy, but it's all in the box that you need to get started.
Yeah. That was the other thing, because I felt kind of like Steph did. I started looking at it, and I was looking at the accessories. Because I just came from buying a Wii. I was like, I'm gonna have to beef this thing up to even like kind of enjoy it. But no, Steph, you'd be surprised. Like right out the box, I didn't feel like I was lacking anything, but I was super stoked about adding everything that I did. It was awesome.
That's true.
Yep.
Let's keep going around the table. Cory.
So my least favorite.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's tough because like every console I got like as a child, I wasn't paying attention to whether things were good or bad back then. Like
Yeah.
when you were talking about the Virtual Boy, that came out right in the sweet spot where I was completely ignorant to anything video games, so it wasn't even on my radar to be something to be disappointed in.
Sure.
Yeah.
So and all those games just have a special place. So I think I have to go more recent.
Cool.
Into my most jaded period of life, you know.
Oh boy.
So
something's gonna get it pretty bad.
Yeah, I think it was the Wii U.
Yeah,
the Wii
makes
U.
sense.
Okay.
Super disappointment.
I was like kind of the podcast. I think was at least a thought, or like
No, it was around.
Yeah,
I remember it being around.
Yeah, because we covered it when it launched.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was already a podcaster, and now I'm looking at things critically, and I'm looking for things to not like.
Yeah.
And it just didn't have the games that interested me. I think that like Nintendo typically does a pretty good job bringing new life into their stuff, but it seemed like the times they didn't was all right in there.
What is the game that launched with it anyway? Was it just the Super Mario's Bros.
It was like
Wii U?
Zombie U or something like that. Like
Zombie
I don't
U.
even know what it is.
And I think
That's
the Mario
the
game,
first strike.
it was the Super Mario Bros. Game, like just the
Okay,
remake side scroller, possibly.
Okay.
Or-
They just relaunched
Yeah,
it.
I mean a lot of the titles are forgettable, but I mean there's really only 3 decent titles, and one's of course Smash Bros.
Yep.
Second one's Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And the third one is one that I liked a lot actually is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
Oh shoot! I didn't play
That was like a hidden gem.
Really?
I don't know if nobody was talking about it, and then I was playing. I was like, wow, this game is really fun. Puzzles are hard.
Nice.
You could be creative too. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I never owned the Wii U. I had the Wii. I just never upgraded because I'd play at other people's house. But when I first saw it, it looked like what we have now in the Switch.
Yeah.
Or like that was the idea that they were going for.
Yeah.
Where you could just take it with you and you can keep playing it.
Yep.
But I feel like it like kinda you could, but there were strict limitations.
Oh heck, very strict
like
limitations.
you had to be in the same room or something.
Oh,
as,
dude,
like,
yeah,
the actual...
you couldn't. I don't think you could be further than like 9 feet for that thing was like, please go back further.
What?
Like whatever. Like it
That's
had to
awful.
use Bluetooth, and that Bluetooth connection was not very far.
I think that
Bluetooth
whole technology
2.0?
kind of failed, though, like across the board, because
Yeah.
Wii U isn't highly regarded as one of the best Nintendo systems. Like,
Oh
No.
no, it's definitely
So
one of the worst.
it's
I think
one of
it's
the
worse
lower
than
ones.
GameCube easily.
I had more fun with GameCube games, but I was in that frame of mind back then. I don't know. I was a little more older, but that's the thing with that technology of like having a screen in your lap being super beneficial, because Microsoft tried to fight that with their Microsoft Glass or whatever, where you download an app and certain games where you could mount your cell phone to the top of your controller and have like a little experience.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay,
Sometimes you could manage your inventory and stuff like that. That was so when I saw that technology came out, I didn't think it was very practical anyways, but I figured I already have a tablet. Right. And I already have the Xbox, so why do I need,
two separate
proprietary?
things?
Right.
And this thing has another purpose. The Wii iPad. What is that thing called?
WiiPad?
Dang it.
It's called a
the
tablet,
WiiPad?
I guess.
Yeah, I used to remember what it was called.
See? We don't even know. We don't even know what it was called. There's just the big fucking lap controller thing.
Yeah, and what sucks is that like that was like after the Wii came out and sold all these units and had all these fun games and all this stuff, that's what they followed up with. And it really did feel it felt like a corporate move, right? Like, okay, people are liking the Wii, we have to follow up with something. They obviously have the idea for what was it like called, like the NX or whatever.
Yeah.
They
NX.
obviously had the idea for that, and I think they knew it was a little bit farther out, but they just wanted to ride the cash wave of the Wii, and
Yeah,
they just put
they
it
punted.
out. They punted.
It was like a half step, like what the Xbox One X or the PS4 Pro is right now.
Yeah.
Or it was a half step, or like the Punisher would say, it was a half measure red.
Yeah.
All right, so that's your worst. What are you gonna say for your best?
I think for my best, I don't know. I went like full nostalgia factor, what I had the most fun with, where I probably logged the most hours.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I have to go with the PlayStation 1.
Ooh.
That's a strong console.
I think I'm changing up because originally I was thinking Xbox 360 because of the Halo days. I put a lot of time into Halo.
Yeah.
I was a high school kid and I had more going on. Back in those formative years when I was really playing and just getting lost in stuff, it was the PlayStation.
Best launch demo disc as well.
Oh, easy. Hands down.
the one that-
Oh, my gosh.
the one that had
ESPN X
Tekken?
Games.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had
Cool borders.
cool
or
borders
something
like Battle
that.
Arena Toshinden.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So much
Back
good
in the day,
stuff.
demo discs.
The demo disc that I had that I loved had Jet Moto on it.
Yeah.
And,
Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
And I think Tony Hawk and and Tekken for sure. Tekken 2.
Tekken 2.
Jet Moto is such a great game.
Dude.
Oh, Jet Moto was sick.
I wish they find a way to bring that back.
And then for me, I throw so much time into Twisted Metal.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, Twisted
yeah.
Metal
Twisted Metal
was
2.
so fun.
Yeah, I had so much time on that.
Metal Gear Solid.
Resident
Metal Gear
Evil.
Solid.
Yep, the Resident Evils 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
Final Fantasy 7.
to
Final
serve
Fantasy
that
7.
other end of me that had that was like a geeky kid who liked wrestling, they had some of the best wrestling games on there too.
Remind me of the wrestling games that they had, because I was really, really into the NWO on Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
So what wrestling games did they have?
They
on?
had I think it was Raw.
Okay.
Raw is War. And
Okay.
then they had that's when the SmackDown series started coming out.
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah, because I never had a PlayStation 2, ironically. That's where I got cut off. My buddy had a PlayStation 2. I don't know why the next one I ended up getting was an Xbox. I don't think I was piloting those decisions back then. in the
That's
house.
just what you got.
Yeah, it's just what we ended up having. But like, definitely the PlayStation for me was that perfect era of nostalgia. Oh, and this came out in a Ninja tweet like yesterday. He expressed he said I would pay like $250,000 for an HD remake of Legend of Legaia.
For $250,000, couldn't you make that?
That's like a day. That's a day. That's the Starbucks money.
That's what I'm saying. I know, really.
Yeah.
It's crazy that
G
he actually
Fuel
has
money.
the money
Yeah.
to do that.
I've always been like, whatever about Ninja. I respect everything he's built, but I'm
Yeah.
just not a fan.
Yeah.
At that point, I was like, okay, homeboy
Okay.
knows what's up. 'Cause Legend of the Guy was a deep cut. It was like, I don't even know how I ended up with that game.
Yeah.
It's not a turn-based JRPG style game, was not in my vocabulary, but it was a
Right.
demo disc, actually.
There you go.
It was on
That's
the
how they
demo
got us
disc,
hooked.
and it had a really thing. So I played the first level a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
Finally got to the point where I was like, can I get this game? I got it, and then obsessed with it.
So dope.
Nice.
So
Nice.
That's a
I gotta
really
get
good
cool.
pick,
Okay.
dude. That I mean, literally, PS1 was a game changer.
Oh, yeah.
Like everything was
Yeah.
discs after that, pretty much, except for Nintendo. But everybody else, yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo held strong. Well,
Yeah.
actually, GameCube had discs, huh?
Yeah, it wasn't until it was those little mini discs.
Yeah, the little mini.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was remember with my PlayStation, I didn't have a memory card. and there was a game out called XCOM UFO Defense.
Okay.
Which is the newer games. It's was one of my favorite games because you would build all of your characters, you give them names, and then you go out on missions and everything.
Tight.
But I'd have to leave my PlayStation running. I left it running for 4 months straight.
Until I could save.
Because you couldn't save. You couldn't save.
You didn't have the 8 megabyte memory.
Yeah.
memory card.
8 megabytes.
Oh gosh, how
Yikes.
crazy.
Cool. All right, Jay, you're up.
All right, so for me, I'm thinking about all of the consoles that I owned, and the one that I had the least fun with probably was the Sega Master System.
Okay.
Wow.
So
really?
I mean,
that's true.
This came out around the same time as the Nintendo.
Right.
It had some of its own titles like what's his name?
Altered Beast.
Altered Beast did come out on that. Kid Cool.
Kid Cool. Right.
Probably the only fun game that came out, and it was River City Ransom. But that was also on the NES as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Still a good game.
Yeah, I don't remember how I got it.
Yeah.
But I had it, and I had about 10 or 12 games to play on it, and
I'm surprised that many games came out.
I know, and
Not
it just
very many over
it just wasn't as fun because I had my Nintendo, and it was easy pass.
Nintendo definitely better than the Sega Master System. That was another. Well, that's funny because like I remember when I moved up here was the first time. I guess that I spent a lot of time around one because only a few friends had it. The Master System wasn't very popular over here. But again, my aunt, the one that played Snoop Dogg Doggy Style for us when we were on our way to school, they had one, and I just thought it was so weird. Like I'd pop it open and it had the little plastic cards to put in there. It was very odd. But then she got like the official Sega Genesis, and then I was like, okay, see this feels like where it's supposed to be. But yeah, it was just weird, like going in her room, and I was like, what are these white boxes with all these blue lines on it? Like, what are these games?
Yeah, I mean the packaging was boring.
Yeah,
like
it
wasn't
stale.
even marketed towards us at all, I guess.
I don't think so, but they figured it out later.
I had no experience with that thing. I was
System?
Googling it
I never had
fervently
it.
over here
Yeah.
just to remind
I mean,
myself what games were on.
Yeah, I mean it came out before the Sega Genesis. It was Sega's answer to the Nintendo.
Yeah.
Entertainment System.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So best.
Console. I'm kind of going to go the same route that Cory went.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
But we're going PlayStation 2.
Hey.
Okay. That was my first PlayStation.
Oh man, I love
Okay.
Yeah,
that.
I would
thing.
say hands down that's probably one of the best systems out there.
Yeah.
It had so many great games,
Yep.
so many titles, like even starting of Team Ico.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got Shadow
Okay.
of the Colossus. I mean, as a console exclusive, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. Oh, so great. And it was also the console that all my friends had too.
Yeah.
So,
So,
I
mean,
the biggest
that plays
factor.
biggest
We
one.
can trade
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was that when they went with the Spider-Man font marketing, or was that PlayStation 3?
that was PlayStation 3.
Okay.
that was PS3.
all right.
Yeah.
Now I'll say this though: the other big thing that was a game changer about the PS2, it was a DVD player.
Oh, it was your DVD
that's
and
right.
CD player.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
see, I remember being up there and putting music on and
Yeah.
watching like the little medium.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, you could do that in a PlayStation. I mean, a regular Sony though, right?
The
Weren't you able to
the PS1, I think you could
play
play
music.
CDs out, but the graphics were a lot cooler.
Yeah.
than the PS2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just.
And what was great about the PS2, you could play PS1 games.
dude, the
Yeah.
backwards
Yeah.
compatibility.
Backwards compatibility.
Oh my gosh!
And
I
it also
played-
upscaled it somehow too.
Yeah, dude, that was so crazy.
Yeah.
I played so much. Cause I remember my same thing. My aunt, she introduced me to Resident Evil, and then Resident Evil when Director's Cut came out, but I didn't get it when I had the opportunity to. But I got a PS2, and that I think it was for my birthday. Me and Webb's birthday is right next to Christmas, so it was dope because I got the Director's Cut on my birthday, and then 2 days later on Christmas, I got the PS2, and I was like, I see what you did, Mom. That's pretty clever. That's good. Yeah. Giving me a game that I'd have to pop in my PS1, and then 2 days later I open up a PS2.
Yeah.
I see what you did. Yeah. So
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good
What's,
call, man.
what's crazy too, talking about it being able to play PS1 on it.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, like we didn't even think about like that being like, oh wow, look at this. Like it was just why wouldn't you be able
Yeah.
to?
It just made
It
sense.
just made sense, and now we're like, guys, it's backwards compatible.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Well, it was like a big thing with the PlayStation 3s. because like some models were held and had more value because they had the backwards compatibility chip or whatever.
Yeah,
the
the first ones that released had the backwards compatibility.
Yeah, and then for whatever reason they got rid of that functionality. So like
probably cheaper to produce the consoles, I bet, without it. And then obviously, then you force people to buy newer games for your new console.
That's when they go, wait a minute. Yeah. Don't let them play old games. They have to buy new games.
And it's never been the same since.
Nope.
We'll never get that feature back. Well, pretty soon consoles seem like they're going out of it.
Yeah, we won't even have consoles here soon.
Yeah, it's all in the cloud.
All in the cloud, baby.
All in the cloud.
See what Google comes out with in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna have their announcement.
Yeah, that's true.
What was PlayStation 2's like online functionality? Did
they
it
had
have any?
some. I know that Killzone was one of the first games. It was from Guerrilla Games.
Okay.
It was one of the first ones that I was able to play online.
It was like their Halo clone, right?
SOCOM.
SOCOM.
Yeah,
Word.
Navy SEALs. Yeah.
Did you have to buy an extension pack though, or anything?
Yeah, you had to buy a. It was like a modem that you would stick.
Right.
Yeah, there was like an expansion bay in there, right? And you had to pop it in there.
I think that's why I think the Xbox was so much superior because that's what it was.
Online play.
That online play, they really crushed that mark. Like when it was fans or what do they call that old school interface with the slides? I can't remember.
Oh.
Blades.
What was it? Blades.
Yeah. They had the Blades interface and everything.
Yeah.
Even though that was like archaic by today's standards, Blades was sick.
Oh, yeah. Back in the day, it was like,
Yeah, you were able to navigate online through the marketplaces, your friends list, all that shit so easy.
Well, I remember when because I had the Xbox, I didn't get PlayStation 2 until well into the, I got a used PlayStation 2 Slim. Like the small.
Oh, no way. I remember
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That pops it open.
Yeah. So it's like way into like the lifetime of it.
Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons why I went with Xbox besides Halo was that I just like the interface a lot better. It just it was just cleaner to me.
Yeah. Well, the Xbox was newer. I mean, the Xbox came in like in the mid-life cycle of the PlayStation 2. So.
Yeah, that's true.
It basically looked at everything that the PlayStation 2 didn't offer. And it's like, you know what to do.
Yeah.
Which is smart. Yeah.
And then they had to jump on them too when the next gen came out though, because PS3 versus Xbox 360, it got pretty ugly for Sony in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree. As someone who tried and true Sony fanboy, yeah, we definitely were hurting in the Xbox 360 era. The only thing great about the PlayStation was the console exclusives. So
that was pretty much it.
That's true. They
literally
crushed it.
So, all right. So, I'll go with my worst one. And I got some backlash from Jay before the show talking about this
because I feel like there was some unsaid stuff during that. So let's get
it out.
So again, I'll reiterate. It's not. I think it's a bad.
No,
console.
just go for it. Don't be scared.
You're gonna get it. Everyone's gonna get you right now.
The Sega Dreamcast.
Oh,
let's go.
Oh my gosh! I did not know you were going to say that.
That's right. Curtis wasn't here for it.
You weren't here.
This is why.
Here, I'm proud of David for having this opinion. I'm proud of him.
David Webb, I thought we were friends.
Okay, hang on, everybody. Everybody sit down. Everybody calm down for a
Curtis,
second.
are you all right, man?
Oh, no.
Do you need a drink?
The lights are getting dim.
Stick with us. Don't go to the light, Curtis. Don't go to the light.
He's going to talk bad about Phantasy Star Online. Be careful.
So here's all right. So,
oh gosh.
I think he's very brave.
It was.
No, it's good.
You
it wasn't that it was a bad console. It's just out of all the consoles I had, it was the one that I had the least amount of like memories and fun times playing it. That being said, I did have a lot of fun playing Crazy Taxi and Phantasy Star Online. The only two games I had, and at the time, I didn't realize that Phantasy Star Online was an online game. I thought that was just the name of the game. So I never played online. I just played it. And I didn't know what an RPG, was. So I was like, this is kind of a weird thing. I could get the same sword, but it's better than the others. Okay, yeah, I guess.
I think there's a reason why the Dreamcast. There's many reasons why the Dreamcast.
Yes.
The piracy stuff. Them not locking down the game so that you or me could just go burn a copy of it and share it with each other. Okay, that was not good because
that was not smart.
Gaming margins for the development of the software is bad anyways.
Yeah.
So that was a big contributing factor. But I think the other one was it was already kind of outdated compared to the other stuff that was out there. So
it really was.
At that point, David was one of the masses. And, so to the hardcores who had a bunch of time to dump into Shenmue and all these other games that require so much time, he wasn't there for that.
Oh, no. It makes sense. I mean, and not only that, but the other thing, honestly, that killed the Dreamcast was the 32X and the Sega Saturn. They did not position Sega very well to do good on the Dreamcast. And I mean, and if you look at the way that the Dreamcast, was built, I've watched some videos of, engineers trying to, going in there and cracking, some of the code and taking them apart. Man, they pretty much made it like a send-off console. I think they knew that they weren't going to be in the hardware business anymore, Sega. So
and they had so many good titles like Shenmue, Jet Grind Radio.
Oh, dude, that was my
Choo Choo Rocket.
Game. Heck yeah.
There was Code Veronica X.
Oh, and that was probably the last. That was the last Resident Evil game that I think I still didn't have any kids at that time. That was probably the last one that I could play for days.
Yeah.
Oh man.
See, now we're hitting the group of the age demographic and where you were in your life having a lot to do with what your favorite and least favorite console was.
Absolutely.
Definitely, yeah. Because I was a kid. I mean, I was in elementary school at that time.
Oh, and then the memory cards, you could play games.
Yeah, I
Memory
was
cards.
gonna say because the memory cards also had a little screen on it that you slide in, and then it was.
Yeah, there was a game called Power Stone, and then they had little mini games like Galaga or Gradius or something like that. You take it out and play it. Oh,
yeah, it was so
fun.
dope. And I was because I got it early, and I remember I went to school and I couldn't wait I was asking all my friends did you get Dreamcast? Did you get Dreamcast? When you get Dreamcast, bring your memory card to school. Let's play some games. Let's trade some stuff. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But no, it's true. That was short-lived because not long after that, I remember that thing started collecting dust.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to add on what Ceramic Dragon's posting in the chat right now, we got Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was out for it. Then we had Guilty Gear, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and then that's where the 2K games started coming in, NBA 2K,
we haven't caught
NFL 2K.
We haven't caught up with Jay Gist in a minute, have
dude.
we? And I forgot when he starts getting into his FGC mode.
Yeah.
Did you hear the confidence come back to his voice and he start throwing down on that?
Love it.
What do you think about the Evo stuff in Melee?
I don't want to talk about that. You don't want to know my opinions on the Melee community.
Remember, before we started, he said, "I'm not talking about these subjects." His publicist told us ahead of time.
He said politics and Melee not being Evo.
Two things off topic.
Now you've only intrigued me more. We'll have to dive into that someday.
We can. I mean, if you have some time, we can do that.
If you got another hour.
Okay, so my best one,
Best.
my favorite one, I'm gonna go with the N64.
Love it.
Hey, good choice.
Yeah.
N64, I have so many good memories with that. I brought that thing with me everywhere. I'd go to friends' houses, I'd bring it with me. I'd go to grandma's house, I'd bring it with me.
Yep.
I always had to have at least Smash Bros. And Star
GoldenEye?
Fox.
Okay.
GoldenEye.
Yes.
Tony Hawk, that was another big one. It's just so many good games.
Yeah.
And that was the first modern console that I got. Before then, I was using my dad's old Atari 2600 or 3200, whichever one it was.
Yeah.
And then the NES. And then when the N64 came out, I remember that, and I skipped Super Nintendo. My friend had it, but I skipped it.
Okay.
And when the 64 came out, I remember sitting in a Taco Bell with my parents, and I had a presentation of why I think we should get the N64. Guys, okay, so they're made of bits, right? And this one has 64 bits, so they look real.
It's like looking in a mirror.
It's like looking in a mirror. I could go all the way around Mario. It was in the Taco Bell because they had N64 toys in the Happy Meal
marketing.
thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dude.
So
how did you get it? How did you get the the 60? Was that just that good of it was
Yeah,
that
the
speech?
presentation or the keynote
That one
obviously
presentation?
There's a reason I majored in marketing. I was at it at a very young age. Yeah. And okay, so we can introduce this and go back around, one more if we had like an honorable mention.
Oh yes, I already got mine.
So my honorable mention, I'm going to say, is the original Xbox.
Okay.
Because that, I think, would be my first forte into starting to kind of gaming on a more serious level, like actually pay attention to things and
like
care
actually
about
trying
stuff.
to get better,
actually trying to get
stuff.
better, not
100%
just,
things. And all that stuff.
Exactly. And I remember I played it at my cousin's house, like long time ago, and I played Halo. I didn't know what the game was. I didn't know what the console was. I just remember how awesome it was.
Yeah.
And then like a year or two later, I played it at a friend's house, and I was like, "This is that game!" And I like figured it out, and like I had to go I convinced my parents I could get again a presentation. I think this time maybe I had a PowerPoint, and
Dang, stepping up.
yeah, marketing,
Star Swipe templates and everything.
Yeah.
Nice.
Samples.
each slide had a different transition.
Love it.
And I was like, okay, I need to get an Xbox. I need to get Halo. And this is when like shooting games were really kind of like people were warning them. Warning parents about
Columbine
shooting games.
time.
Yeah. And so they were like, okay, well, tell us about Halo. And so I told them, and they're like, okay, you can get it because you're shooting aliens, but you can't get that Call of Duty game. And so
okay.
it was okay because I was
Split the difference.
Split the difference. I was like, that's fine. I don't even know what Call of Duty is. Let's go Halo. So that's my honorable mention. And that I would take with me. That was like that replaced taking N64 with me everywhere because I would go to a friend's house like every weekend in middle school. Go to a friend's house. There'd be like 10 of us that would bring our Xbox, and we'd run landlines all over the house.
Original Xbox LAN parties were life right there. I just smell the Taco Bell right now.
Taco Bell, Doritos.
Smell the Taco Bell and the Mountain Dew,
I
right?
can just smell it.
Oh,
take
man.
me back to the day.
Right?
That's a great honorable mention. That's
Curtis,
incredible.
honorable mention?
For me, I had an honorable mention before you even
Before I
conceived the
Right,
idea.
conceived the idea.
Is it going to be the
okay.
Dreamcast just to make up for his tracks?
I'm not even mad.
That David
Webb.
No, my honorable mention, like if I did not own the Switch and know the joys of the Switch, and originally when you first asked, I was fighting the Switch because I wanted to say this one because from when I was a kid up until now, and the derivative of this console got me back into gaming. Like after I had gone away, I had kids. I was like, I don't play video games anymore. I'm serious. I don't know why I got this idea in my head. Obviously, I didn't know Jay Gist at this time. Yeah. You would have told me otherwise. But I got this thing, and then when I got back in, I would watch people play like the newer, more modern games, and I'd literally like get anxiety. Like, this is too much. There's too many graphics. This is too good. But the thing that got me back into it and got me back into gaming was the derivative of the Game Boy. The Game Boy is my honorable mention. I played that thing from when I was young. Same thing about I could take it everywhere. Yeah. I was in the car with the little accessories where you put it over the top. Yes. And it was like a light and like a magnifying glass and speakers.
Yep. Yeah, I remember playing Link's Awakening just like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Mine didn't have the speakers, but I had it. I had the little light on there and the magnifying glass. That made it so.
And the grips.
Dude, you could. They had grips for it. Dang, there was one other accessory that I had for
battery?
So my parents, and I thought this was the coolest thing. They bought me rechargeable batteries.
Just some energizers. With
Lucky.
Yeah, I had 8. So when one went out, I just swapped them out and put the other ones in the charger. It was easy. But no, the Game Boy, it changed everything. And I literally saw a video the other day that it was like a Game Boy that someone had taken to a war with them, and it was broken. Like, that thing was busted. Like, I think they said that they had encountered some sort of explosion while they were over there. But it literally still turned on and played. Those things were tanks. Like, when they made those, and that's the other thing I like about Nintendo. They try to make their stuff robust. But I remember they were like, we want it to be industrial grade. We want you to be able to chuck this thing out of a moving truck.
Damn.
And still be able to at least hear the So yeah, mine's easily
man.
the Game Boy.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yep. Corey, what you got?
I think the honorable mention for me would have to be, dang,
Mm-hmm.
Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 360, the best controller of all time.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
care. I'm sorry. PlayStation 1 is great and all, but you just can't beat the classic 360 controller.
That's for
I
sure.
agree.
And then the online play, like, just kind of took it to that next level because
it's
gaming was
game-changing.
always social for me. So, I mean, like, I always had my friends come over and we'd play video games. And there's that thing. And then you start moving away from that when you're an adult. You don't want to call your friends and be like, hey, you guys want to come over and play, Call of Duty with me?
Right.
And so I got my work friends all had the consoles. And so that's just what we did. We'd bond over that. We'd, jump online, hang out. And video games became very social again. And then Halo 3 and Reach and all those good games, Gears of War. I just that's one I had to give it to. I was thinking though, I like what you were talking about, David, on like how you got your console by like having to persuade, and it sparked like I remember for me it had to be good grades,
Okay.
and then I had to pay for half of it.
Oh wow. Okay.
Nice.
Like they would like make a deal with me of what amount of work would take to assume half, and they'd always say, okay, I'll buy, I could ask for whatever console I'd want.
Yeah.
And they'd say, okay, your grade's good? Okay, check. Okay, now you have to meet us halfway. We have 2 truckloads of firewood because we had like an old wood burning stove.
Yeah.
And so that was my summer project, was I'd have to stack all that fucking wood perfectly. And then that was it. Then we'd go out to the store, bada bing,
Hey.
good grades, put in the
Nice.
work. I got my console.
That's good though. I mean, like, I don't think a lot of parents do that these days. Like, make your kid like work for it.
My
and,
parents
like,
had to
earn it.
struggle. Like they were like there wasn't a lot of nice things that we just kind of passively had in the house. When I look back at it, I appreciate it 10 times more than I even did when I was back then. 'Cause
Oh yeah.
back then you're entitled and think the world owes you everything. But then when I see like how little they had to work with, but shit, like I didn't turn out too bad. They tricked me into having good grades all the time, and got a shitload of free labor. Like,
Yeah.
Pretty much.
yeah.
Win-win.
There you go.
Yeah, because it wasn't just like do the dishes. It was always like an actual project. Like
You had to sweat.
Yeah, we had to work
You
for
had to
that
work
shit.
for it. Yeah.
Dang. That's how I got my
good.
GameCube. I remember it specifically for the GameCube because that was like when it like really kicked in.
Yeah.
Nice.
Jason
Okay.
Gisley.
Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo.
Yeah, honorable mention.
Alright.
Again, it's going back to the console that most of my friends had.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what we did. For sleepovers and stuff, we would play Street Fighter 2. We'd play Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
We would play Final Fight.
Final
Anything.
Fight.
I mean, any of the games.
Super Double Dragon.
Yeah. Super Mario World is probably still the best
Super Mario
Mario
World.
out
Oh
there.
my gosh. It has to be. Oh, I loved it so much.
That was good. Yeah.
It was right around that time. I remember the same thing with like when friends would come over.
Yeah.
Part of our like tradition was that I went to their house or they went to my house was a stop to the video store
Oh yeah.
to
Yeah.
pick out a game that none
Like
of us
Blockbuster.
had played before,
Yeah.
and then you just get down on a multiplayer game.
And you only have the weekend to beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You literally only
You
have
gotta
one
take it
night.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if not, you had to rent it again the next time.
Yep,
Like,
yep.
Fighting Force was one of my favorite PlayStation original games. Me and my buddy had to rent that game like 4 times just
Yeah.
to get through it all.
That's so dope.
And each time you had to start from the beginning, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there was no. But the Super Nintendo, I think the best Mario of all time for me is Super Mario World,
Yeah.
and then
I'm right there with you.
the original Mario Kart came out there too.
Oh,
Yep.
man.
Oh man, I remember playing that. in
Star
my-
Fox.
Star Fox.
F-Zero.
Yeah.
F-Zero.
Yeah.
Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Yep.
I remember as a kid, my friend's older cousin, he played Mario Kart with us, and he'd be like, he'd be like, you guys know, he was like, what? I mean, 16, 17, and we were like half his age. Like we were like maybe 8 or 9.
Yeah.
He's like, you guys know that this is like how you drive in here is how you're gonna be driving in real life. And I'm freaking this out because we're all over the road, slamming into people. I'm like, I'm gonna die.
I hope kids can still have this kind of fun, with the
Yeah.
games. It's so different now with their Fortnites. They jump
Yeah.
into a random thing and then they have to play with 40-year-olds. It's a whole different
Yeah.
experience gaming. To us, it was just like
Yeah.
an hour thing. The parents
Yeah.
didn't come in and check on us.
Yeah.
you weren't had to worry about some racist kids.
Oh yeah,
Right, that's what I
Yeah.
have to say. Like, I never remember like toxicity on any.
No, just
When I
friendly
was
between
younger.
your friends is the
Yeah.
only toxic.
Stop screen
looking.
cheating.
Yeah, screen cheating. That was BM.
Oh man.
You're my house,
Yeah.
my controller.
My controller. Yeah.
You use this one.
You use the broken one. I mean this one.
Yeah, that's just That was rule. That was law
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
then. You
Yeah.
get the controller that the person whose house it was tells you get.
That's
Yeah.
right. You ain't touching my turbo controller.
Yeah, you
Back
don't-
up, son.
You don't get my Pikachu edition of the N64. Like, that one's mine.
I got your guest
Yeah,
controller
that one's
right
mine,
there.
yeah.
You
You
use
didn't
the
bring yours.
use the Mad Cats, bitch.
By the way, the A button doesn't work.
yeah.
You're not gonna be jumping this whole game.
Oh yeah, my cat chewed on the cable too,
Yeah.
so it's all like crusty.
You got to turn it sideways. Oh no, take it out and put it back in.
Hold it just like this,
Yep.
and you're fine.
And then you had the friend that always got so mad if like they brought their game, they would just immediately pull it out and head home.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like while the console's on,
Yeah.
and it just goes blank.
That's
Yeah.
another level of BM. You just didn't do that to somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, see you tomorrow.
Yeah. You'll be back.
I don't think that was an issue on the PlayStations though. If I remember correctly, if it was spinning the disc and you accidentally hit the open tray, I think that bad boy kept spinning. I can't remember though.
It was a certain sequence, or like when a game had to load so much, like, because certain games had to keep loading content on it, but some of them, like if you were in the middle of a match, you can pop, because that's how I got past the region lock to play like the first Dragon Ball game.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you had to like put the spring thing in on there and then like let it load up a PlayStation game and like a regular US one, and then you hit the open button, but the spring kept that little button thing pressed down, and then I popped it out, and then that's when I popped in like the Japanese game. And then like my aunt who owned a computer store, I don't know how, she was like, what do you want for your birthday? I said, I knew that it wasn't out in the US. I was like, I want the Dragon Ball Z game, auntie, but it's only out like in Japan or overseas or whatever. She was like, okay, well, what else do you want? And I told her something else. I was like, I'm getting that. Bro, I'll be damned if for my birthday, like a day before, a package showed up. It was this little box, and it had this thing in the back. And I was like, what the hell do you do with this? I read the instructions. Terrible English, because it was all translated. But I saw the little picture. I popped off the back of the PS1, that little swing thing. I saw a little grid there, a little port. I slid that puppy in, put that spring on there, and I'll be damned if I was in Goku 15 minutes later.
Dang.
It was so amazing.
Nice.
I remember just doing dumb shit. Like I was that young, like, and I vividly remember doing shit like in my PlayStation, because they had the thing that pops up and you put the CD down on and then close the tray.
Yeah.
I'd put like 2 CDs in there, like trying to crush them all down and just see what happens. Like I don't know, just trying to figure shit out.
Yeah.
Put some
That's what
bologna
you did.
in there. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Well, there was also a game on the PlayStation called Monster Rancher where you play where
Oh, yeah!
you have to take the disc out and put it in a random disc, and then it would make a random monster for you.
What?
And then you have to take that disc out and put the game disc back on.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's so amazing.
That
was fun.
My friend Jonathan had that, and I remember after school just going through all of his and his brothers, because it didn't matter what disc. It could be other like PC games. It just had to be a disc, and I don't know if it was RNG, but it seemed like we got the same ones all the time, and we were just trying to find that one magic disc that's going to unlock this most rare thing we'd ever seen.
Yeah, that's dope.
Do you
Do we know how that works? Like, I'm sure.
No idea.
No
how
clue.
that works.
I have no clue.
That's worth researching though, because that's pretty damn amazing.
Yeah.
That's advanced stuff.
Yeah, it's 2019 and
That's
we're
20
scratching our
yeah.
heads.
Yeah. You guys remember like Game Genie? And
Bro, are you
Game
kidding
Genie.
me?
What was the other one?
Game Shark.
Game Shark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Game Shark went in the back of the PlayStation.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
it would break your games from time to time. Like you would have to turn it off and turn it on at a specific time.
I broke my Pokemon Blue with a Game Genie trying to get a what was it? It was like a super special Lapras or something.
Oh,
I don't
really?
remember. I don't think that Lapras was in the game, but you could get it.
Yeah, if
through
you
this
use
code.
the game genie.
And then it was like the coolest thing. I was like stomping people with this game. And then like after a while, like I went to go play it, and then like I couldn't, like my save file was gone. And then I had to start
Broke it.
completely over.
Yep, it broke it.
And then I went to go save,
Yeah.
and then like I turned it on like the next day. It was, where is it?
Where is it gone? Because that's what it was. That like I remember like watching a video on it saying like the different things that the game genies and stuff would manipulate.
Yeah.
That's straight up went after that save file, baby.
Yeah, it's insane.
I think, especially like back then, I never had a Game Genie or used it. I had some friends who did, and it was like I remember just doing Sonic, and we
Okay.
did it where you can like be Gold Sonic all the time.
Oh,
all the
yeah.
time. Like
Yeah.
it was one of those. hack things, but
Yeah.
I remember the other things that you'd have to hear about or read about in a magazine. Like in Pokemon, there was the Missing No thing.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
It was this weird glitch of a Pokemon where you had to like go to the first town, walk up to this very specific part of the gate, turn around 10 times, fly straight to Indigo, whatever island, and then walk along the edge, cast out your fishing line, say 3 Hail Marys, and then like you'd get this occurrence of a Pokemon.
And it's literally like a glitch, right? Like wasn't it like a square or would like change into
Super pixelated.
Yeah.
It was fucking crazy. Those were the days of like cheat codes. I didn't do the little add-ons, extensions. But there's also some really good gaming historians about all that stuff.
Heck yeah. He has so many good videos.
If you guys haven't watched that guy's YouTube yet, go to Gaming Historian on YouTube because it's incredible knowledge for just that era of video games.
Yep.
Lots of nostalgia. Well, you guys are hearing the wrap-up music. That means we do not have time for our game or Matt Damon. So we'll
Damn it. I'll have to tell him to wait. Matt, he ran out of time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Come back next week.
Catch you next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you were watching us on Twitch, twitch.tv/videogame_bang. If you are not watching us, make sure to check us out. You guys are probably hearing the podcast version right now, but we also do the show live. You can come check it out. You can see our facial reactions. You can hang out and chat. And then after the show, we do a after party show.
Yep.
And then if you are watching us, but you've never actually listened to the podcast, go check us out on any place you could get podcasts. Spotify, iTunes.
There you go.
Audio Boom.
Hey,
That's
he's got
great.
there you go.
Stitcher. Boom. 4.
Yeah, Stitcher, you're on a roll.
That's where I'm gonna stop. Go check us out. Subscribe. Give us that 5-star rating. Even if you don't like it, just give us that 5-star rating because it's free. What's it gonna cost you?
If they listen to this much of the show and ended up hating it, thank you. You gave us a good
you
shot.
You gave us.
I appreciate you.
I don't like you, but I respect you.
Exactly.
Jay.
Yo.
What do you have to promote? What do you got going on?
A lot.
You have a lot to promote. All right, let's do it.
So March 16th, I have my next tournament downtown Sac off of K Street, right above Oblivion. Comics and Coffee.
Okay. We know that place.
Yeah.
It's a good place.
So we're bringing back Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 this time.
Ooh,
People are asking about it, so we're
Okay.
going to do that, and Dragon Ball, and then we'll have Tekken and Street Fighter, and also Blaze Blue
Nice.
cross-tag battle. But also, I'm going to debut me making barbecue for the tournament.
Whoa. That's the
What?
reason to go, guys.
Yeah.
Because one time he brought me over like a day old brisket, like refrigerated in foil, just as we were hanging out. Second day, warmed up, sorry, Jay, I used a microwave. Fucking incredible. Oh
That's
my
right.
God. I didn't need to use any I'm a barbecue sauce fiend.
Okay.
I would not disgrace this piece of meat with any barbecue sauce. Not even my Sweet Baby Ray's.
So good.
Okay.
I'm really excited to do it. I'm making brisket. I'm making homemade mac and cheese. Making baked beans.
This dude could cook, boy.
Yeah,
I'm
Cheesecake on
really
the
excited.
menu?
I'm really excited.
I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
That every time I see his Instagram post, I'm just get so hungry.
Cheesecake God.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yes.
and cheesecake is my favorite dessert.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you come out to the tournament, and it's also for charity for the UC Davis Children's Hospital.
Nice.
So it's $10 for a plate, but I'm doing pre-orders just so I don't waste food. If you go to CFD Gaming or CFD_J on Twitter, then you can find a link to the tournament to sign up. Also, California State Fair.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
I am
Announced
putting
this
together
thing.
an esports center.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah,
so crazy.
they gave me a huge room. We're building a stage. We're getting
What?
PCs. We're getting consoles. We're going to do tournaments. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and you should start seeing more news pop up about that.
That's so cool.
That's awesome, dude. That's a big gig too. That's a long thing. I cannot wait to see how that ends up turning out. And they couldn't have chose a better, more authentic representation of what Sacramento's grassroots gaming efforts is than Jay Gist. Like,
Absolutely.
100%. There's no one putting in this work.
Big question about the March 16th tournament. Will Melee be there?
Melee, not be there, unfortunately.
Okay.
One word. One word. Finally. Shout out to
All
Salem.
right.
Salem, man.
Oh man, Kurt, what do you got going on?
Bruh. Honestly, just stream, just the stream.
Yeah?
I've been getting back on it little by little. And now that I'm feeling better, like I said, it'll continue to increase. But I do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday night. You might see a little notification, so just keep an eye open.
Yeah,
All right,
okay.
all
All
right.
right.
And don't ask me about my Kings right now. I'm salty.
I wasn't gonna. I wasn't gonna.
Thank
Man. I
you.
apologize.
I follow them on Twitter. I know when to bring them up and when not to bring them up.
David Webb, you are a man after my own heart. Thank you.
Oh man, Cory, you got anything going on?
Man, no, just this show, Video Game Bang. Follow
Yeah.
us on Twitter at Video. No, I might dust off the old streaming shoes while I post-produce this thing. Maybe we'll learn a little bit. So I was doing educational streams for a minute where I'd post-produce, do a little basic mixing, exporting, showing the upload process, and just answering questions to people who want to learn how to maybe do some podcasts. So I'll probably get back on that.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun to do, and there's Adobe Audition 2019 to learn and potentially break. So you
right.
should be there for that.
Hit save lots of times so we don't lose the file.
Yep.
Duplicate.
yeah.
Edit that one.
Oh man, and then, I got some new lights for
Yeah.
my setup,
And now you got some stands?
and I got some stands.
Okay.
Read the fine print, people.
Yeah.
Make sure you know exactly what you're buying, and if it says one left, don't buy it. Just find it someplace else. So I will be bringing my stream back, probably Monday, if not tomorrow, Sunday. But if you're listening to the show, it'd be tonight.
What games?
So I'm gonna play a little bit more Anthem tonight.
Okay.
So maybe Anthem, but more than likely probably Apex.
Apex console, Apex PC.
Ooh, that's gonna be a tough question.
Please
Let's
play
see.
PC.
We're gonna see what's gonna feel like. I'm definitely better on console than I am on PC, but I might just play PC because it's easier to stream on.
That's
PC.
great. Now, what I need for you to do is do a little bit more research on that, and then next time we have Emma here and the console versus PC comes up, you need to be trained on what to say.
I'm not gonna get into that right now.
Answer's PC. It's just PC.
I feel like Emma would fight dirty.
Yeah.
She's scrappy.
She fights to win, man.
All right, everybody. So that's our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys for watching. For Cory, Vincent, Curtis, Jagist, I'm the David Webb saying, see you guys next time.